welcome. This is a knot. Say hi, knot. See, we're using a metal folding chair today. The go-to pose, of course, is legs on the chair, right? So a knot has already perfectly positioned herself, but let's experiment a little bit. So you'll probably need to experiment a little bit to find the right placement for your body, right? So a knot, scooch away from the chair a little bit, right? You can see how the backs of her knees are dangling in the air. Probably not going to feel so good to stay very long there. And then a knot, come too close to the chair, right? Yeah, too close to where her knees are almost sort of coming into her chest. That's also not going to feel so good, right? So we want the legs, think of sort of the backs of the knees, calves, all the way to the heels resting, right? The legs, not quite at 90 degrees, but there's a little bit of a downward slope. See, from the chair down the thighs to her lower back. And that should feel really good, but of course, if that doesn't feel really good right away, then experiment a little bit coming forward or back, okay? All right, now, please bring your hands onto your lower abdomen. You can rest your eyes closed. Sometimes I'll take naps in this pose, or sometimes I might lay down and start in this pose thinking I'm going to do this sequence or a sequence like this, and then I fall asleep. So if you fall asleep, that's okay. But very, very gentle class. Again, this class is designed for someone who's in a lot of back pain and really trying to find some relief. It's also for anybody who's exhausted, right? Your mothers out there, you young yoga teachers running all over Manhattan. It's really for everybody. And in this series, we're really emphasizing slowing down. We're emphasizing that you start to recognize what your body's telling you, right? When your back starts to feel achy, lay down, rest, right? Before it gets too inflamed, before it gets too tired, or before you end up on your back because you can't move. The wonderful thing here is that so much of her back and the back of her pelvis is resting on the ground. Again, you'll hear that in probably every class in this series. More surface area, more contact with the earth, right? That's very, very soothing, that's very nurturing. Sometimes back pain are just muscles that are gripping, they're overly tense. And when they're able to relax, that alleviates sometimes some types of back pain. Okay, now, a knot. Please interlace your fingers and reach your palms up to the sky and then back alongside your ears. Good. And you can sort of wiggle your arms a little bit side to side. Yeah. Good. Now, the weight of the legs is resting on the chair and her arms are pulling her torso longer. And then exhale, bring your right knee into your chest and hold the front of the right knee. Good. When you're doing this pose, as you're holding on to your right leg, you're feeling the whole right side of your back. It's broadening and elongating. Feel like your inhalation is sort of filling into that whole right side that's making it longer and broader. Your mouth, your jaw, your arms, your shoulders are relaxed as possible. And your belly is rising and falling a little bit. And sometimes as your belly rises, the right leg rises away from your body with it. And then exhale, as your belly is dropping, your right thigh presses in against the abdomen. So do this for 5 breaths or so. And then bring your right leg back onto the chair and pause for a moment. Good. Just feel the effects of that. Again, really the simplicity of these poses, the simplicity of this sequence, it almost seems like too good to be true, but it's profound. Trust me. All right. Then or not, once again, please interlace your fingers. Take your arms up to the sky. You're going to wiggle side to side a little bit as your arms come back alongside your ears. Good. And exhale, hug your left knee into your chest. Noticing your breath. Don't feel like you have to try and breathe deeply or you have to try and breathe in any certain way. Most of the series is about just bringing more awareness to your breath and observation. And observing how this pose would emphasize the left side of your back, elongating and broadening. If you have any knee issues and this bothers your knee, right, then you can hold the back of the leg, right, and get the similar effect there. Yeah. Especially if you don't have any more cartilage and your knees don't bend very much, you're probably not going to be holding the front of the leg. And then please release your leg back onto the chair. Also very, very nice for releasing tension in the calf muscles. We guard a lot of tension there. We may not even be aware of it because those muscles are always in a little bit of contraction. So if you have someone nearby who can come press on your shin bones and sort of massage the calves a little bit, or if you have a couple kids at home who can come sit on top of your legs, that added weight will feel so, so good. And then not, please hug your right knee into your chest again for about 5 breaths or so. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Sometimes we start to observe or perceive that there's a little pauses after each breath cycle. Inhaling and exhaling. Not, please interlace your fingers around the back of your right leg and reach your right leg up to the sky. Good. So you can see she's very, very flexible. Her leg straightens quite easily. For some others, it might be more of a struggle. Right? So go ahead and slowly begin to straighten the leg again. Sometimes the leg will start to tremble a lot. The muscle tension, the muscular tension here in these muscles, that's releasing, so that's a good thing. If they cramp or seize up, bend your leg and then straighten it again. Okay? Good. Yeah. Good. And notice she's doing this nice thing with her feet. The toes are spreading, the heels reaching upwards. So this sort of is activating the musculature of the feet that activates muscular pathways through the legs. Right? Quadriceps contract here to lengthen the backs of the legs. And then please hug your right leg back into your chest. And this time, walk the hands a little lower down on the shin. Right. Got it. So you can see she's able to fold her legs quite deeply. Even if your hands are up here or up here, that compression of the leg will feel really good. And it sort of puts a little more flattening into the back. And then go ahead and release your right leg onto the chair. And pause. Bring your left knee into your chest. And 5 breaths or so once again here. Hold it around the back of your leg, reach it up to the sky. Looks like her left side is a little bit tighter. Same for me, and I found for most students that I've seen over the last 15 years or so, for some reason, left sides seem to be a little tighter. Again, think about straightening the leg. It may not be all the way straight. It may not look like this. Don't feel like you're failing if you can't get your leg all the way straight, though. Think of it as a process, and the act of straightening, really we're trying to release, primarily here, release the hamstring muscles. It's a muscle group that when they're tight, they really pull on the pelvis and they exert a lot of pressure on the lower back. So by releasing the hamstrings, again, it's sort of one of those neighbors to the lower back. It can create a lot of relief, a lot of decompression for the spine, a lot of relief for the low back by releasing these. Okay, good. And hug left shin into chest. And this time we're going to take your hands a little bit lower down on the leg. We call that a deep fold of the leg. Again, if you have an assistant at home or a child, it can feel really nice to have a little bit of added weight sort of pressing on the leg here. And then please release your left leg back onto the chair. Interlacing fingers one more time. Reaching arms up towards the sky and then taking them side to side as they move back alongside your ears. And on an exhalation, bring right knee into chest. Right? So third time now doing this pose, this particular pose. Right? And then hold around the back of the leg, inhale, reach it to the sky. Yeah. Doing this pose again. Now, ankle to knee pose. Cross outer right shin over left leg. So I'm going to call version 1 is just this. We've crossed the leg right above the ankle joint on top of left thigh. Right? A little self-adjust and I'm sort of doing here, pushing the thigh bone forward and upwards and then outwards a little bit. So push into the thigh, upwards, and then outwards a little bit, right? We'll call that version 1. Version 1 being the most accessible. Version 1 means that probably everybody can do it. Some of you, that will be enough. Version 2, bend your left leg and bring your left foot sort of on top of the chair, right? So that's a little more intense, and that may or may not be possible for you, but version 2. And then version 3, she's going to grab around the back of her left leg with both hands and pull it. Now that foot can come off the chair, can push into the chair a little bit. Yeah. One way of approaching this pose, and again, this is sort of really, really great medicine for hips and for lower back. As you inhale, you can think about drawing your left leg into your body. And then as you exhale, see, she's externally rotating the right thigh. She's using her right arm to provide a little bit of leverage against the leg. Right? And that's sort of one way of thinking about the actions of the pose and the breath component. Inhale, drawing left leg in. Exhale, right thigh wraps forward and away. And then please place your left leg back on the chair. Right? We're going to do the same poses in reverse. Hold the back of the right leg, reach it to sky. Hug right knee back into chest. And then back onto the chair and pause. Oops. You can see I've covered this chair. It's a metal chair. I've covered it with a blanket. And I want the blanket sort of coming off the edge of the chair a little bit. And it's going to slide around a little bit so that, see here, the contour of the back of her knee has that added padding there. Right? But if you're using a chair that already has padding, you may not need the blanket. Okay. Let's do those same 3 poses to the second side. Bringing your left shin into your chest. Holding the back of the leg, inhale, reaching it to the sky. And then exhale, crossing the outer left shin over right thigh. See, she'll cross, here's her ankle joint. She'll cross just above the ankle joint so the ankle joint itself isn't getting smushed. That also allows her foot to stay actively flexed in this direction. Her left hand here, you can give yourself a little adjust. Push on the thigh, right? Not up here on the knee. Push on the thigh. Feel like you're guiding it a little bit upwards and then a little bit outwards. And those actions are somewhat subtle. It's not a big sensation of the thigh bone moving upwards and outwards, but a little bit over time goes a long way. Good. Okay, that's version 1. Version 2, bend her right leg. She might have her foot there. She might put it against the edge of the chair there. Good. And then version 3, she's going to grab the back of her right leg with both hands. Go ahead. For today, please hold the back of the leg. Yeah, good. Yeah. Sometimes holding the front of the leg works fine. It's a little more challenging for more people to hold the front of the leg. So she's holding the back of her right leg. We'll work this now for 5, 7 breaths or so. Inhale, drawing the right leg in towards your body. Exhale, feeling the left thigh, the left knee move forward or away from your body. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Rest your right leg back over the chair. Hold the back of your left leg, reach it to the sky. Right? So we reverse the sequence to come out. There's 3 poses, right? We go 3 in and then reverse it coming out. Good. And hug left knee into your chest. And then place it back onto the chair and pause. We're going to use the chair for cobbler's pose. I'll ask her if she's going to bend her legs. She's going to bring the soles of her feet together, using the edge of the chair, something like that. Cobbler's pose. Just noticing how the configuration of your legs here, as that changed sort of the shape of your lower back. If this feels good, you stay longer. If it doesn't, you just come out of it. Okay. Please bring your knees back into chest. I'm going to just slide the chair forward a little bit now so that she can put the soles of her feet on the ground. So we're going to do 2 twists. The first one, very gentle, sort of easing the spine into twist. The second one, a little deeper or a little more intense. Okay, so this first twist, feet will stay on the ground. She'll start to drop her knees over to the right. So she's moving into a little bit of a spinal twist. You can see shoulders and arms relaxed. Right? Okay. And then inhale, come back to center, and exhale over to the left. Stay for a few moments there. And then inhale, come back. Okay. And then bring your knees into your chest, exhale. Right. So the second twist will be a little deeper. Legs will stay together and fairly symmetrical, right? So you can see ankles, shins, knees. We're going to try and keep them fairly symmetrical, fairly parallel. Ground your left arm. Use your right hand. Take your knees over to the right. Reclined twist. I'm going to offer a couple adjustments here. Softening left shoulder down. Elongating the entire left side of her back. And then this right hand, you can think of it as a little bit of a weight also. Pressing down on the leg. It also guides the leg that way a little bit. And nice and slowly scoop up your legs, come back to center, and pause. Sort of notice the effects of that twist. Recline twists are probably my favorite category of poses. They're sort of luxurious and decadent. Okay, let's do the other side. Just move into recline twist. We've got to get out of her way here. Okay. You can see here, naturally her left arm and shoulder are fairly grounded, fairly relaxed. And if it pops up off the ground, what you might need to do is come back this way a little bit until that can settle and steady. And then move into twist this way. Her left hand here is somewhere on top of her left leg. It's guiding the leg in this direction and also a little bit of weight to ground it down. Think of your inhalation as flowing down the spine. It actually decompresses and elongates. The exhalation flows upwards and follows this spiral, twisting, looping spine. And the force of gravity sort of releasing, relaxing you more and more into twist. Nice and slowly scoop up your legs, come on back, hug them into your chest. We're going to end today's class with our go-to pose. If your body feels at this point like you'd rather just straighten your legs on the ground, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm going to bring the chair back in onto the mat a little bit. I'm going to not place her legs over that again. The backs of her knees resting over the edge of the chair, calf muscles sort of flattening, heels are resting also. You can think of your breath as having, for today, 3 components. The inhale, of course the exhale, and a little pause in between. Sort of rest in the quietness and the stillness of that pause. Don't hold on to your breath. Continue to let it flow naturally. Simply observing something that's already there. And when you observe it, it tends to get enhanced a little bit. The length of your inhales and the length of the exhales might get a little longer. Again, the pauses, nice and quiet, they might get a little longer too, although that's not the goal. not the objective at all. Inhaling, exhaling, and brief pause. There's a mantra that states, "May all beings be happy and free." I'd like to chant that for us. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. I truly hope that this class has provided some relief for you and